Hello, hello. Welcome back to Check the Pulse podcast. So, we're going to do a little cozy vibe tonight. It's currently like 8 p.m. on a Sunday, and I'm like, let's rip a pod. So, for all those watching, thank you. Like, subscribe, do your thing. But honestly, I don't know where this podcast is going to take me today, but I got to hit a solo episode out. The first thing I will say is I know I've started and stopped this podcast a few times, but the goal this time is to come out with a bang, and we did with Anthony, and now we're going to carry that energy and keep the pod going. I have currently about 15 guests that want to be on. If you want to be on the podcast, remember, I take everybody and anybody. You can talk about anything you like. I'm using it as an open platform. You can talk about, life experiences, business experiences, something controversial, literally just a platform for you to speak. Let's have a cool conversation, pretend it's a coffee chat. And at the end of the day, you get free content out of it. So if you want to be on the pod, let me know, hit me up in my DMs, but let's dive into it. So something that's really been on, sorry for the choke. Something that's really been on my mind recently was actually after I filmed with Anthony at Grid Studios. I got interviewed and I got asked some questions about like my experience, almost testimonial style. And the gentleman asked me, what's something I've learned from podcasting thus far? Now, although I haven't done many episodes, I will say one thing, and this goes beyond podcasting. Everybody on this planet is just trying to make it in whatever way, shape, or form that looks like to them. So whether it's trying to find a loving relationship, whether it's building a business, rekindling relationships with families and friends, whatever their goals are or what they feel like they're missing is what they set out every day to try to achieve or do. So again, I will say everybody is just trying to make it. And to me, it's actually like disgusting the amount of hate that other humans put out towards others. Like at the end of the day, there's different religions, different beliefs. Some people believe in God, some people don't. Others believe in a different higher power. Whatever it is, what good do you get from hating on somebody that A, you've never met, B, is not part of your life in any way, shape, or form, and C, honestly, I don't have a C. And A and B, but like for real, what do you get out of hating on somebody? Majority of the time, if you're hating on somebody, it's because you're pissed off about something in your own life. And that's something that you need to come to conclusions with, you need to look at, and you need to try to heal. A lot of the times, people that don't realize their own internal traumas project that onto other people. And now nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm in the same boat. There's many times I project. There's many times, I judge. We're human. People do judge each other. But the important thing is you catch yourself in those moments and you recognize, hey, what am I doing? What am I saying towards this person? Is what I'm saying in a loving way? Is it hating on them? Why am I hating on them? At the end of the day, human beings act out of what they know. So whether they're reacting or their actions are based off of their upbringings and their households they were in, or they're hurt from a past relationship they were in, or a friendship, humans hurt humans to a certain extent. And in that hurt causes the end person to react in certain ways towards others. It's like a circle. So think about it. If nobody hated each other, then nobody would act hurt. Again, people only act out of what they know and what life experiences they've been through. So even if someone is being an ass towards you, take a second and just think like, shit, that maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe they beefed somebody this morning that they care about. Like, you never know what others are going through. So I'd take that moment to really, take a step back and be like, okay, if I feel like I'm being targeted by this person, why? What are they trying to heal out of this? What did I trigger in them that they don't realize is a trigger, hence why they have this reaction? So I don't know. These have just been my thoughts lately on the whole aspect of like, we're all just trying to figure it out. And it's crazy the amount of hate that we see online. People have asked me before, through this podcast, do you get hate? And I have gotten hate, even as small of a podcast as I am. I don't even think I have 20 episodes out. And I've gotten hate like on TikTok from people I don't even know that comment on literally the stupidest stuff. And to me, it's like, first of all, cheers, because thanks, you're helping my algorithm. You're tossing me that comment. But it's like, what do you get out of that? What is so self-fulfilling for you to rip on somebody you don't know? I don't know. I think I've been a people pleaser growing up. And to me, it's like, I always want to try to keep the peace. And I don't know why other people love on the fact that they steer the pot and like cause problems and cause havoc. And at the end of the day, like I said, everyone is just trying to figure it out. And in whatever way that means they're going to do that, they're going to do that. And unless it affects your life directly, why are you going out of your way to hate? It's literally the stupidest thing ever. But anyways, that's one topic. The next topic is quick little catch up, I guess. As you see, I'm filming in a new space. I did move out of my parents' house, which was a huge, huge step for me and a big goal I wanted to accomplish last year, which ties into my, we're still at the beginning of the year. So this kind of ties into my idea of like goal setting and manifesting. Last year, I set out, I think it was 4 or 5 main big goals for myself and my business. And honestly, at the beginning of the year, they all seemed unattainable. But by the end of the year, I attained them all. And a lot of that came down to the fact that I was moving as if these things were already mine and already happening. So for example, I hired a new employee under the company. At the time, it seemed like it wasn't possible. But I already was moving like, yeah, I hired someone. Yep, I'm going to have this person work for me. Even though I didn't know who that person was I knew what role they were going to do. But even though I didn't know who they were, how they were going to come to me, I was moving and putting the energy out as if they were already working for me. And lo and behold, it happened. I had a goal to go to a conference not overseas, just like not in Canada. And literally I wrote it down at the end of December 2023. January 2024, I get a call from Grant Cardone's team because I had signed up for one of his seminars at the end of 2023. And he's like, hey, like, we saw you were in this seminar. We're going to offer you a discount to come to the 10X conference in April in Miami, Florida. Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And I literally was at shock because as I received this call, I was looking at my goals for the year. I was literally reviewing them. And I had landed on the one that says going to a conference in another country. And I got the call at the same time. So I'm one that believes in signs and like the universe and like God having a plan for you. And I took that as a sign. So I made it work. I booked the flight. I went out. It worked out. It aligned with a family vacation we were going on, which was another huge sign for me that it was meant to be. And I went to my conference. So like those are 2 goals. A third one is that I wanted to move out. That's a really big step and something that's very, very scary that I don't think a lot of people realize until you do it, or the hype is there until you actually like sign an agreement. And then you start to realize, holy shit, I'm moving out of a home with people that I've grown up with my entire life. And like, don't get me wrong. I obviously have points where like I miss my family and I miss having people around all the time. And like, the loving and care that you get from your family, you obviously don't get when you're alone. But I believe that you hit a certain point in your life where you become an adult and you need your own space. You need your own energy. You have to create your own routines. It's healthy for you. It's healthy for your parents. If like you grew up in a very tight-knit household, it's healthy for your friends, for your relationships, for everything, because you're now operating in a space where you do what you want, when you want, how you want, and it allows you to find you and kind of grow into the being that you are. Obviously, when you're in the home with your parents, like, your parents are your parents. They're going to care for you. They're going to love you. They're going to always kind of have like an opinion on what you're doing or like ask you what you're doing or where you're going. Whereas when you're on your own, that's not really the case. So it's a huge, huge, huge growth aspect that you go through, whether you move out, in a relationship or move out by yourself. The moment you move out and move away from your family household is when you really, for lack of better words, like grow the fuck up. Because there's no one to rely on in that space. You got to do your dishes. You got to do your laundry. You got to fix your bed. You got to clean. All these things that may have been done for you before, you now need to figure out how you're going to put them in your routine. That being said, though, you need these skills as you grow up, as you get into a relationship, as you have a family. You need to know these things. So I would say like that was obviously one of my third goals of the year that I achieved. But in that, a lot of growth has come from it. And if you are someone that is debating on, moving out but is very fearful, I'd be happy to have a conversation with you. But outside of that, do it. I promise you, you won't regret it. A lot of growth comes out of it. That being said, though, I had to make sacrifice. For those that know me and follow me, I travel a lot, or at least I used to. But now that I moved out, it teaches you money management. Okay, so you have monthly expenses you have to pay for. You got, whether it's groceries or rent or a mortgage or bills or whatever it is, it teaches you how to allocate your money so that you're not just blowing it. I love traveling and I wish I can literally travel every month. But part of growing up is analyzing your expenses, analyzing where you can put what funds. And that growth comes from when you move out. I was very fortunate that even when living in my family home, like my parents covered all my expenses for me. I had nothing to worry about, which very, very grateful for. But, you learn the true lesson on how to allocate your income solely when you're not under their roof, because now it's up to you, right? So to tie that back into my goals, it's that I hit 3 of those goals. There was a 4th one. And at the end of the day, like I said, even with the moving out, I would go to sleep and like tell myself I already had a condo lined up. I was signing for the condo. I was moving into the condo, like all of that. Even though I didn't have a condo lined up, I didn't even know where I was going to look or how I was going to move in or how I was going to afford it. Like all these things cross your mind, but I constantly put my trust into like God, I'm religious, or you can say the universe. And I knew that he would always have my path my back lined up on my path. Another thing is when I went to move out, I was looking for signs. And, I prayed at night. I said, show me the signs. Show me the signs that you're protecting me and I'm making the right decision. And it was the craziest thing. Like I met up with my friend's current fiance to plan her proposal. He was proposing to her. And when I was there, it was cute. It was like on a boardwalk in Hamilton. And there was a butterfly, like the smallest little butterfly ever in my path. And I walked towards it and I noticed it and I took a photo of it. Obviously, I Googled like the kind of butterfly and the sign, and it basically linked into like rebirth, God's protection, and, growing. And like it basically tied into the idea of me moving out. And then, the number of my condo unit also tied into that idea. So there were so many signs that just helped me feel safe and secure. And all of that is manifesting by already acting like you have it. And a big thing is putting your faith in whatever higher power you believe is guiding you. So for me, it's God. So I put all my faith in God, and I knew I could achieve anything having or knowing he has my back. One of my favorite quotes from the Bible, and I literally have it tattooed on my arm, and it's, I can do all things through God who strengthens me. And it's just a reminder to me that I know no matter what direction I go in life, what I do, what do I try to achieve, what risks I take, I will always have my back watched over, protected, and guided, even in situations where I may feel like that's not the case. Now, whether you believe in the universe or a different God, like maybe for your religion, that will all still pertain to you. So whatever that is, if it's the universe will always have your back. The universe will always make sure you're on the right path, will put you through struggles and hard times so that you learn lessons and you can take those lessons and carry forward with them as much as they hurt. But everything, I believe, happens for a reason, no matter what. You may not know the reason in the beginning, but it happens. That now, I didn't even realize this, but that can tie into the whole aspect of like, everyone's just trying to figure it out. People are on different paths with different, struggles and obstacles they have to go through, different timelines, different people cross their path. But at the end of the day, they're just trying to figure it out, and their path is set out for them from whatever higher power is watching over them, and they will always be protected. Now, how they project that onto others is up to them to heal and control, but a big lesson is that everyone's on their own path, and you need to remember that. Another thing I want to touch on is I crossed like a Mel Robbins podcast, and she basically this ties into kind of the whole aspect of like everyone's just trying to figure it out. And, you know, obviously when you're trying to figure it out, you dive into negative self-talk. It happens. We're human, especially if you get hurt or get hurt by someone you really love and care about, you will dive into negative self-talk 100%. Something that Mel Robbins shares that I found helped me greatly and still helps me greatly is called the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 rule. So the moment I catch myself diving into negative self-talk, I will literally just be like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Or like I'm at a soccer game, I'm playing, and I don't know, I feel like I'm playing like shit. As soon as that thought of like I'm playing like shit is about to cross my mind, I'll be like, I'm playing like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it intercepts like your brain pattern, and I will lose my thought. And if it doesn't work the first time, I'll do it again and again and again. So I want to share that little tip with you because as you're trying to figure it out, as you're on your path, as you're being protected and guided, the negative self-talk does come up. And for some people, meditation, it doesn't always help. I can meditate. I love meditating. It literally like will change your life, but I understand it's not easy for everyone. So try using that little tip, to kind of like intercept your brain waves. And remember, again, you are in control of your own thoughts. I also heard something that stuck with me in like a talk that I went to, a networking event. And the speaker had said something that not only stuck with me, is literally etched in my brain. Shout out Tyler McClay from Tyler McClay Realty. He said this, and it forever stays with me. You can only control the controllables. And I've literally ran with that ever since I heard it at the end of the year. There's so much that we get hurt by that we can't control, but that's because we can only control the controllables. I can't control your action or what you do to me, but I can control how I think about it and how I react to you. You can't control the uncontrollable. The uncontrollable is everything around you that basically is coming from somebody else. I believe you can dictate your environment from like your thoughts, your emotions, and your energy. But for example, the way someone treats you, you can't control, right? But again, I can control the way I react to them. So that's another good tip for you, which is you can't control the uncontrollable, but you can control the controllable. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 intercepts your negative thought patterns. And you are always protected and guided by some sort of higher power or whatever you believe in for that matter. But remember, your path is distinct and unique from everybody else's. So run down it, walk down it, whatever you got to do, take it day by day. And remember that even the worst days in your life, some people pray for as the best days in theirs. So just a little tip to keep you guys thinking. Hope I can help you out with a little bit there with everything I said. This was just a quick little pod episode, just to hop back on here, get comfortable in front of the camera. If you take something from it, great. If you don't, come back the next time. I got some cool guests coming on. Jokes aside, I love you all. And yeah, it is 8:00 at night as I'm filming. So I'm going to say have a good evening. I don't know when I'm going to post this, but thank you for watching. If you made it this far, thank you. Subscribe, like, share my reels that I put out. Share this video as well. It's a bit of a shorter one. We're about 18 minutes in right now. So thank you, and see you guys on the next episode.